Blake, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here, Mike. Good to see you.
COVID-19 has had a huge impact on the US economy, and business needs help to recover. What would you do if you were in government right now? What would you say maybe the three top things be to help business recover?
Well, first of all, I would force most governors, if they had reasonable statistics, to open up parts of their economy that can safely be reopened. Secondly, I would do one more round of stimulus, getting some money out to the individuals and then another layer to the public, but probably do those more in the form of loans and maybe even equity investments in some cases. And then third, I would continue to back off on or encourage states to back off on some of their regulations so that business owners can operate efficiently and profitably.
Can you update us then on the employment situation in the US? We hear conflicting figures at times. So what's the Blake Christian figures or book of figures telling us?
Well, the numbers I heard today were in the mid 8% unemployment rate. Most of the doomsdayers were predicting that we were going to have long-term unemployment in the 25 to 30% range. But you always, the published rate of that 8.5 roughly number that the government's pushing, it's always a little bit understated because there's a group of people that have just given up on applying for jobs. And then secondly, in the environment we're in, because people were getting money till the end of July from the government, they're only starting to, maybe get back on the employment hunt. So it's probably a little bit low, but it's far from what the doomsdayers were saying.
Which sectors are doing better than others in terms of recovery? Looking at, say, your local area and looking at the nation as a whole?
I think, just core manufacturing, is less impacted. Professional service businesses, companies with technology are getting through this much better than those that, that hadn't embraced technology prior to COVID. Certain service industries, there's a lot of people that, want to get out and about. And so, there's a lot of people that have been innovative. We may not open for ski season. We're a resort town. And so, there's an opportunity, and there's people in town that are pivoting to doing Nordic skiing, cross-country skiing, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, and bringing those people that come into town or attracting them into town for alternatives rather than having a bunch of very unbearable procedures on the ski hill, on how many people can be on the lift and how slow that'll be to get to the top. So it's the innovative people that are doing well, but hospitality is still suffering. Although I can tell you, when I'm walking by restaurants or driving by them, there's a lot of people out looking for a good meal. They're sick of their own cooking.
What major federal and state incentives are available then to encourage business to employ workers?
Well, there's a number of federal programs. There's the WOTC, the Work Opportunity Tax Credit Program, which has been around for decades, and that encourages people to hire the kind of the most at-risk employees, those that live in economically distressed areas, It's for veterans of the military, certain veterans. It's for ex-offenders, which is a nice way of saying people that have spent time in prison, as well as those people that have received, are receiving food stamps and those types of things. So, and it's a smart move, because if the government can entice businesses to hire these hard to hire people, they get off of some of these government subsidy programs, and then that's shifted over to the employer. We have a lot of clients that do go out of their way to hire that group of people. You can get up to a $9,300 tax credit in a given year for hiring some of the subgroups that I just mentioned. So there's a real incentive to hire these people. So that's on the federal side. On the state side, it really varies. We have 50 different states. Not all states have state income tax, but we have, for example, we'll pick California because it's a big state. They have the California Competes tax credit. That is a program that you apply for. The minimum you can apply for is $20,000 in credits. Beyond that, it's not. I shouldn't say the sky's the limit. It's $180 million that they dole out per fiscal year, and so they allow. There's a period of time that people apply for that. You have to show that you're growing your business in California, that you might have opportunities to move to another state, and that other state is offering you some incentives, and then they, it's a ranking system, and they eventually, zero in on who they feel is the most entitled to those tax credits. So that's a big one on the California side. And they also have which again is very important right now, is they have a California training panel program, they call it. And this can give companies, mid-sized companies, hundreds of thousands of dollars for training their employees. And again, they look at the competitiveness. Hey, you're expanding your business or you're retaining your business in California. We know you can go to another state, but show us what kind of training that you want to put in to retain your employees, improve their skill set, and if you're going to pay them more money at the end of that training, then we're on board with you. We'll partner with you on that. And as you show us the training program has been implemented, we'll dole out the money over a period of time. A lot of my clients get those benefits, and they can be very substantial.
What's the latest on payroll tax deferments or reductions, and what impact do you expect this will have on recovery?
Right. So, we just had a discussion, a CPA group late last week, and I polled the group of about 30 people, and only 2 of them were taking advantage of this. So the president, and I'm 90% sure this was executive order rather than, in fact, I'm positive it was executive order rather than passing through Congress, but he implemented a payroll tax deferment, and so basically you can elect not to withhold and deposit payroll taxes, but you're going to have to, it doesn't go away. It's not an exemption, but he would like that to pass Congress. But he has said that if he is reelected, he'll make sure that any deferred taxes get forgiven. So it's an interesting play. But again, we're not seeing clients take advantage of it because they just feel it's just a deferral till year end, and why hassle with it. If
the president does pass it, and so that you don't have to worry about getting or repaying it back or paying it back, and those that have paid it, will they get a credit back for what they have paid?
They haven't worked all those details out, but from the beginning, the administration has been pushing for a payroll tax exemption, and so the Democrats view it as, why are we going to give this benefit to the employer? But I can tell you, being on the front lines with businesses, that they will absolutely hire more people, if their cash flow is better that way. Mm. And so anyway, I'm a fan of the exemption, but it's he doesn't have bipartisan support for that position.
Are there any other incentives likely?
Well, right now, I mean, most of the talk, because there's just a complete impasse. It's an election year here. It's there's just so much friction between the Democrats and the Republicans. I'm not very optimistic anything can get passed until after the election, or maybe into next year for that matter. So I think kind of what's on the books is about all we're going to get. They're really pushing for, again, another stimulus checks to every taxpayer, even those that haven't paid tax in the last year or two, as well as some a little bit of talk of maybe some more business incentives, but mainly on the individual side.
Mm. And just finally, I have to ask you this because there is growing concern about disappearing postal boxes. Have you, come clean here, Blake, are you nicking those postal boxes? We checked out President Trump, he's not doing it. Nancy, well, she's not. Joe Biden, he doesn't know. So are you stealing these postal boxes?
No, I'm not. And there is a long history. First of all, there's a lot less mail because most people are using emails and things. I will tell you, 80% of the what we refer to as snail mail that I receive is junk mail. That's what keeps the U.S. postal system humming is junk mail. And so, and they do a fantastic job for whatever, postage is these days. We'll call it 56 cents. I'm not even positive. But they can get an envelope from here to New York in a few days. It's a pretty good bargain for all the flack they take, and they process a lot of stuff. So,
well, I ordered a package the other day because we're doing this from Australia at the moment, and can't get out. I ordered this package. It came from New York. I got it within 2 or 3 working days. There's a weekend there. That's amazing. In Australia, you can send out a letter, and you're guaranteed to get it sometime.
Right. Yeah, it's impressive what they do, but yeah, that's not happening. The mailbox, if they're getting moved, it's because sometimes they repaint them, other times they're just not used very much, so they close it down, and people will go to the post office or find another one.
But having said that, I will be sending someone around to check your basement. When you're looking like that sort of guy that would nick postal boxes. Blake Christian from Holthouse Carlin and Van Trigt. One more thing, how do they get hold of you to talk about anything to do with taxation, anything that a CPA does, or postal boxes?
So my email address is blake.christian, CHRISTIAN, at H as in Harry, C as in cat, V as in Victor, T as in Tom.com. Our website is hcvt.com.
Blake, thank you very much.
Thank you. Always good to hear from you.